Hi everyone, welcome to this week's discussion, where we take on one of the most fun topics in research, ethics. And yes, I know, nothing says excitement quite like regulations, oversight, and accountability. But trust me, ethical research is the backbone of everything you will ever do as a scholar, practitioner, or evaluator. And in 2026, that backbone is being stretched, twisted, and occasionally set on fire by digital tools and algorithmic systems. So let's talk about this a little more. Ethical research isn't just a checkbox. It's not a module you completed once in your IRB training. It's the system that keeps participants safe, protects public trust, and prevents researchers from accidentally becoming the villain in someone else's case study. We often rely on regulations to set boundaries, oversight systems to enforce them, researcher accountability to uphold integrity, transparency so others can evaluate what we've done, and participant protections so human beings are not treated like data points. These elements are the traditional pillars of responsible research conduct, or responsible conduct of research, RCR. But today's digital research world has introduced a whole new set of problems and responsibilities we need to be aware of. In the past, ethical research mostly meant you needed to avoid plagiarizing, harming people, hiding your data, or making up numbers because your sample size was 11 and your p-value was terrible. Now we have algorithmic analytics, wearable data systems, behavioral sensors, and AI-supported decision-making tools, each with their own ethical hazard. And these tools do not politely wait for you to finish your IRB training before they begin causing trouble. Digital tools can introduce algorithmic bias because machines inherit the sins of their creators. Opaque decision processes, the algorithm says yes, great, but why? Hidden data pipelines, who else has access to this and who sold what to whom? Massive privacy risks. Your Fitbit knows more about you than your doctor does. And integrity threats, automated analytics that quietly misclassify or overgeneralize. And suddenly, the responsible researcher is juggling not just human subjects, but human subjects filtered through the black box systems. Welcome to your algorithmic vocation. So, what is the researcher's algorithmic vocation? Well, your vocation, or your moral role as a researcher, is changing. In a digital environment, responsible researchers must understand how the tools work, or at least well enough to know when they're not working. You don't need to code the algorithm, but you do need to know its assumptions, its error rates, and its biases. Stop pretending that digital tools are neutral. Algorithms are trained on human data, created by human teams, and shaped by human decisions. Translation: bias in equals bias out. Monitor data integrity constantly. Wearables, apps, automated systems produce enormous amounts of data and enormous errors. You can't just trust the dashboard anymore. Document everything. Transparency is essential when machines assist with decision-making or analysis. If a tool contributed to data collection or interpretation, say so. And protect participants from digital harms. This includes unclear consent about digital tracking, digital sharing risks or data sharing risks, third-party access, re-identification dangers, and biased automated outcomes. In 2026, protecting participants' rights means protecting their digital footprint too. When algorithms join your research team, whether they're invited or uninvited, we need new layers of ethical oversight. Algorithm audits are regular checks for bias, drift, and errors. Transparent documentation, where we explain what tools were used and how they were used, and of course, what limitations they carry. We need to update our IRB processes. Now, IRBs need to consider wearable tracking, biometric data, continuous monitoring, automated decision influences, cloud storage, and vendor access. Data minimization. means just because your device can collect 300 variables, it doesn't mean that you need all 300. Human in the loop oversight means no algorithm made me do it. Humans remain morally and legally responsible. So, now you may be asking, what am I supposed to do for this discussion board assignment? Well, by day 3, post your initial response to the prompt. You want to be sure to discuss why ethical research matters, the need for regulations and oversight, key components of RCR, how vocations change in the digital era, and what new safeguards are needed when algorithms join the research process. Be sure you integrate your textbook and at least 2 current peer-reviewed sources. Then by day 5, be sure that you have responded to at least 2 peers. Compare and contrast your sources with theirs, and use at least 1 additional scholarly article. By day 7, reply to at least 1 peer who commented on your post, and be sure you respond to me if I jump in. Ethical research has never been simple, and thanks to today's digital tools, it's not going to get simpler anytime soon. But that's why you're here, to learn how to navigate this increasingly complex landscape with integrity, clarity, and a healthy dose of skepticism about any tool that claims to optimize everything automatically.